Rich Saki. This is Aduana Stars trying to open up. You clearly see the structure. That is quite interesting. Team Menu. Henry Ansu. Kamara.
And let's played alongside Calvin Obi. Yeah, this at Chelsea. So they lose each other's the more.
Team Menu struggling to get his authority in that midfield this afternoon. And the fact that he's been played as the lone pivot in front of the defense could be a case of worry for Coach Karim Zito.
The team is not of himself today. You see the boss of team. And I don't know the kind of pressure that is on him and why he's not stable and firm. Just simply going to warm up, and I believe that can serve a lot of good. He is not a reliable, or let's say telemedium. So allowing him to hover around so the number is going to have a lot of issues. Maybe Albert should drop a bit more, or maybe Patrick Asiedu should add that inverted role to help Timber. But as the game is not going that far, so you can't just be dominant all the time. That's why Timber is struggling.
4-1-4-1 system from Karim Zito this afternoon. Shintu posing in team men. But it's too early in the game. Probably he's going to find his feet and get to control affairs. This is Aduana moving so smooth. Defensive attack. Richard Tete. Kuchamuako. Puts in across the header from Mafo. Mohamed Kamara, the guy who started the season match day 1 for Asante Kotoko when they won 1-0 at Karela United in Nalerugu. He won the man of the match in that game, and since then it's been a roller coaster of performances. Sometimes good, sometimes not that well. He went off for Asari, and just under the Karim Zito administration, he's back in post. He has a point to prove.
Of course, you know, his first game in Ghana was mouth-watering. But the question is, having two proper defensive midfielders in shape of Justice Blay and Tinedu, I opted for willing Team Menu to play that lone role. And I think he's really trying to understand the fact that they gave him the fluid as he wishes. That is why these two boys are warming up.
You may pardon him because this is his first game with the club, and perhaps the first few days he may have seen something in him that gave him the confidence to put him in this game this way. But you know, sometimes training is different from the game itself.
Menu is a very good player, especially with the ball. But we are talking about the defensive attribute. Can he give that grip just blow offer, or maybe Tinedu? But you know, like you said, face that office, benefit of the doubt.
That is a good ball from Pafo. And Alex Boache with an interception. Tete. Calvin Open. Good play from Team Menu. Brilliant. This is what he does best. One of the best ball progressors in the game. And this is why mostly he needs someone to be with him in the midfield. Bassi Alex Boache put in the last ditch tackle to make it a corner for Kumasi Asante Kotoko.
Alex Boache, 29 years experience matters. 5 seasons running for Aduana Stars. 2 goals this season against Basake and also Kondo out of Lions. A defender offering such numbers. It's a plus.
Not the best of kicks, but Baba Yaya can make it happen. The header from Kwame Opoku. Almost 9 green shirts in the box. It was a very good effort from Kwame Opoku to engineer that shot. The Aduana Stars had almost everyone in the box except Kelvin Obin, but Kotoko still managed to get a shot.
After that goal against Samatex, Kwame Opoku struggling to find his feet, and Albert Amwa just scored the penalty against Bichim. It's been a tough moment for the attackers of Asante Kotoko. Aduana Stars always defend, especially a venue that is not favoring them. No wonder they're defending.
This is Calvin Bassi. Fernando Wisdom. But Calvin, they affectionately call him. And Kwame Opoku misses again. He could have relaxed a bit on that ball, but that would be a good one for Aduana.
Kwame Opoku sharpness is something most Kotoko fans are questioning, and yet still, after being dropped to the bench, he's here to show that kind of sharpness he's known for. But again, Seydou Sana, he's a bit afraid to always be on that front foot anytime he's having the ball. The creative spark just behind Calvin Abin and Emmanuel Mafo. He should be breaking the lines, but it's like confidence-wise, it's low.
Samba now. He is of course not a happy man. Tioba Aristika also reacting furiously to proceedings this afternoon.
When we speak about player durability, give it to Gilbani in Dongani Samba Onel. He's played almost every game for Kotoko and he's been a standout performer consistently. Very durable. That is what you need from players for big teams. You must be available all the time. And whenever somebody is called upon to duty, he's always there to deliver his best.
Of course, in the early part of the season, he was hit by some injury. But after recovery, he's been available almost every time for the Porcupine Warriors. Emmanuel Mafo. Bafo concedes a throw. Leventios Ata. Richard Tete. Kelvin Obin struggling in between Samba Onel and Henry Ansu. Bassi Amoa. Bassi gets it. Free kick given to Fernando Wilson Bassi. And Charles Benle Bulu. The senior inspector. Who doubles as a center referee this afternoon. You can see that bit of authority.
Yeah, of course, you know, he's been in the game for a while. And no wonder he's commanding that authority on the field. But looking at the fact that Aduana Stars are committing more men in defense, you need the likes of Basi to do what he just does, to drop fouls advantageously for Kotoko.
This is a free kick in a good position. Michael Chejamena, Patrick Asiedu, Albert Tamoa. Albert went for the straight ball. Asiedu managing to keep it in play, but he failed to. This could have been a similar situation to the goal Aduana JT scored. That was from a corner. They managed to put it out for him to strike. That was against Beckham Charles. Albert Tamoa. Kotoko struggling to hold on to the ball. Perhaps due to the physique of Aduana Stars. Baba Kwame Opoku. Baba Yaya gets it. This is an opportunity for Opoku. He shoot and close your eyes and open them. Guess who has done it again? It is Kwame Opoku. Everyone thought he was gone, but he has come back, and that was a freezing strike. You better believe it. What a hit, Kwame Opoku.
Of course, he got a time, the space, and the power was really on point. The accuracy, the goalkeeper Masori, you know, is one of the best in post. Could not afford this shot. That was brilliant. The angle, how tight it was. It shows class, it shows pedigree. It shows why he knows the league more and more, and why he just took the look by storm after the second coming. 7 goals to his name, and it's good time to score at this moment for Kotoko.
Kwame Opoku has got his 7th goal. What a time to score. What a time to keep going. This will do his confidence the world of good. Sam Adams not in agreement with things happening on the pitch.
Let's not forget, Aduana Stars have lost 3 away games in their last 5, and they always lose more than 1 goal. Against Heart of Lions, they lost by 2 goals to 1. Mediama, they lost 2-0, and against Karela United, they lost 2-0. So when they are losing away, especially in their last 5, they always lose by 2 goal margin. So don't be surprised if Kotoko get a second.
Somehow now, Andrews in Tim Menu. The pass was a bit too high for Kwame Opoku. Rich Saki. Leventios Ata. Not the best of passes. Henry Ansu. Definitely go back to Mohamed Kamara. Samba now will cover grounds.
Coach Abdul Karim Zito instructing Sambo Nel to always release the ball as early as possible. Maybe the new manager bounce is going to have effect here for Mercy Asante Kotoko. Their last 5 games at home, they won against Karela 1-0, defeated Legon Cities by 2-0. They won over Basake, and that game Samuel Tunde scored the only goal. Brekum Chelsea and also Bichim, it was 1-1.
.29 and Kwame Opoku has already put Asante Kotoko in the lead. They couldn't have asked for a better game and a better first half, a better first 30 minutes of the game. Almost half an hour in the lead.
You know, top strikers knows when and how to take their moment. Kwame Opoku, a scrappy first half for him, but that chance was enough to put Kotoko in the lead, and that is class and pedigree. Hoping to bounce back from that defeat against Nations FC. And let's not forget, prior to this game, Kotoko loves conceding in the first half. Against Accra Lions, they scored, or let me say they conceded 2 goals in the first half. Against Nations FC, Nafu Suleiman Emmanuel not scored in the first half, but they are trying to improve upon that numbers.
Interesting. On the half-hour mark, the players would have to cool themselves.
In 14 home games, Kumasi Asante Kotoko, they've scored 17. They've conceded 6 prior to this game, but they've added their 18th in 15 home games, and that is a plus. They didn't start struggling to always keep their mark in away games. They've won only 2. They drew 7, they lost 5. 7 away goals scored this season, 13 conceded, and they just considered their 14th of the season, and that is an issue of a worry. But the last time they played a game in the Ashanti region against Nations FC, Emmanuel Mafo scored the only goal at the Dr. Komiche Sports Complex for the Stars, and they won that game by a lone goal.
You get him back. Let's see if Aduana Stars in the next 15 minutes would have that firepower to at least get a equalizer. Maxwell Atta gets to Saki. Emmanuel Mafo dropping so deep into his own half to get a ball. Samba now, Asiedu. And Saki still battling for it. Leventius Atta gets back to his goalkeeper Masaudu Inusa.
Masaudu with 15 clean sheets, and their last game against Hasselhoek, he was on top of issues. But this time, Kwame Opoku just scored past him in post.
Sam Adams. It's been a hectic afternoon, I beg your pardon, for Sam Adams against Patrick Asiedu.
You know, Sam, with the experience, he's hard. And one thing, he's very versatile. Very mobile, very flexible. Can play from the wings, the midfield. He can even spearhead as a striker.
Ansu in team in a very good position. There is space and time, but in team with another faulty pass. He needs to get better in this game.
The pressing from Kotoko is not coordinated, but you can see glimpses of them getting the edge over Aduana Stars when they press up front.
Samba Basi, very silky. Samba switches play. This is Bafo. Che with a pass to Kwame Opoku. Che Gamina seem to be having a decent game this afternoon on the far right for Kumasi Asante Kotoko.
Of course, this is a new era, and you must be able to convince the coach with very good performance, especially in big games like this.
Alex Boache, Leventios, good touchdown. Mafo, Opin gets on to Mafo. Mafo goes down, and the referee points to the spot. He says it is a penalty. And Charles Bulu Benle has pointed to the spot. He says it is a penalty.
Aduana trying to coordinate the attack, and the pass came in at this point. The referee was so close to the action, and he believes it was a penalty.
Spot kick for Aduana Stars. Leventios Ata, after absorbing all the pressure, has given the ball to Sam Adams. Sam Adams against Mohamed Kamara. Always difficult to convert penalties against goalkeepers with such height.
Donnarumma is always on point when it comes to such moments.
Thibaut Courtois,
of course, and can Kamara be the hero against one of the experienced figures within Aduana Stars? Sam Adams.
Sam Adams against Mohamed Kamara, who comes on top. Adams saved. And Mohamed Kamara has kept Kotoko alive. He has saved the penalty. And Fernando Bassi, the foul for Aduana Stars once again.
Very good save from Mohamed Kamara. And just as we're discussing, keepers with such natural advantage in terms of height are always difficult to beat. You need a lot of technique to score past them, and that was crucial. It would have been a very good omen for Sam Adams to score against Hasselfolk and against Asante Kotoko. But Mohamed Kamara was up to the task, and no wonder he was selected just ahead of Frederick Asare.
It's 38 minutes. And Kumasi Asante Kotoko continues to lead despite the penalty awarded. Aduana Stars. Sam Adams will be a disappointed man for missing that.
They just parted with their goalkeeper's trainer, and this time Kamara pulled a crucial moment for Kumasi Asante Kotoko.
Sometimes some changes are usually good. You know, perhaps the fact that this is a new environment could also push some of them to go beyond their limits. And that is what we've just seen from Mohamed Kamara. He's already made a fine save on Emmanuel Mafo, and now he has managed to keep the penalty off the line.
I was told that before that game in Doma, Kotoko were struggling. They went and turned things around, and this time things are not rosy. They believe that they will use the Stars to find their rhythm back, and now they are leading, and their goalkeeper pulled a very crucial moment just to keep them in the lead. Nice competition between Frederick Asare and also Mohamed Kamara.
But the issue is, anytime any of them takes the spot for 2-3 games, you begin to see the person dropping, making errors, and eventually the other has to take over.
For example, that game against Bechem United, how Mohamed Kamara considered that Kofi Tum post goal, and also
against Heart of Lions, he also conceded a very cheap goal against Heart of Lions in that game.
And watch Legon Cities how Frederick Asare conceded, and even against Nations FC, Suleiman's goal. A lot of fans were not happy. But let's see.
Fernando Bassi goes down again. He's giving some skills.
Of course, and the fans are enjoying it. And it is impacting the game massively, especially breaking the lines and also trying to break the local defense Aduana Stars are presenting. Drawing fouls advantageously for Kotoko is a plus for Fernando.
And very soon, he may be the guy people will pay to come and watch. If he's consistent.
Of course, you know, Fabio Gamba came with that same skill of an element, and he was the fans' favorite. And Kotoko always having very good rapport with foreign-based players. And this time, Fernando Wisdom is the man.
Patrick Asiedu. We hope that just well wasted effort from Patrick Asiedu. Most of the set pieces has been entrusted into his hands, but sometimes he just don't get them right.
Of course, he scored same against the same team in Doma, but the angles is what varies. But he should be doing better.
And Sam Adams frustrated, knowing really well that his cross was not the best, and the medics running onto the pitch. Yellow card, Albert Amoa. Richard Tete is the man on the turf at the moment. Not a bad game from both teams so far. A bit of an entertainment, drama, and also emotions. Kwame Opoku with that belter of a strike from outside the box. And also Sam Adams missing the penalty.
Aduana Stars are putting a lot of process, especially from Sam Adams, but Calvin Obin is not offering that aerial durability that they needed. The midfield, the creativity is a bit low for Aduana Stars. Now Sam Adams in the midfield, maybe they want to get a certain outlet. Previously, Kojo Amoako always move forward to add that kind of crossing abilities, but this afternoon he's facing a difficult customer in the shape of Fernando Wisdom.
Asante Kotoko. The referee ordered the ball to be retaken. And 2 minutes has been added on. After the 2, it's going to be the end of the first half. Kotoko take the lead into the break. Or Aduana will find a way to